As some of you know, I am a coach. I coach specifically women in toxic relationships. Most of those women used to live or are still living with a narcissist husband or boyfriend. And as many of you know, I used to be in a cult, otherwise known as the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses. And as I am doing my work every day, I can't help but notice the similarities between being the victim of a narcissistic relationship and being the victim of a cult. And that's what I want to discuss with you today. And if you are or used to be a member of any cult, not only Jehovah's Witnesses, I'm going to speak more to Jehovah's Witnesses because that's what I know as far as cults are concerned. But I am sure that this video can help you whether you are in a religious or non-religious cult, any cult. So let's talk about this today. The narcissist husband, and I'm going to speak, by the way, just a parenthesis, of the narcissist as a male and the victim as a female, just because that's what I'm used to. My clients are all females and their abusers are male. Not that a narcissist is only male, okay? I know that female can be narcissist as well, and I have nothing against men. So this is just for the purpose of my analogy, okay? Just so this is clear before we go on. So the narcissist husband will have many different tools to get what he wants from his wife. But the two main tools that he loves to use every day, it's control and lies. And the more control he's going to have, the more lies he's going to have his wife swallowed easily. It's exactly the same thing with cults. They have many different tools they're using to manipulate people. But the two main ones are control and lies. And the more indoctrinated you are, the more lies they're going to have you swallowed easily. So let's talk about this in more details now. The narcissist husband will want to control his wife about everything. He wants to control what she does. He wants to control what she thinks. And he wants to control even what she feels. And you are going to see that cults do exactly the same thing. And when it comes to the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses, they want to control what you do, they want to control what you think, and they want to control even what you feel. And I'm going to go through those one by one, and you are going to see that what I'm saying is the truth. So how the Jehovah's Witnesses leaderships control what you do? Well, they control everything. They control what kind of people you hang out with. They control what type of movie you watch. They control what type of music you can listen to. They control even what you do in the bedroom. They control every area of your life. They even control your looks. For example, there is that very infamous speech from Anthony Morris called the tight pants speech, where if you're not one of Jehovah's Witnesses, this was a governing body member telling you for like 15 minutes what size of pants you should be wearing and how you should not be wearing tight pants. That's how much Jehovah's Witnesses are controlled. A woman, for example, cannot do anything that has to do with the religion wearing slacks, dressy slacks, like some professional women wear. No. The religion of Jehovah's Witnesses, their leaders, they still live in the 40s and 50s where female didn't wear slacks. They are completely oblivious to the fact that nowadays wearing a pair of slacks, dress slacks, can be professional and looking okay. not looking bad in any way. No, they don't register that in their heads. They're still living in the 40s and 50s. So a woman, even in 2018, can't wear anything but skirts or dress. She can't wear even a pair of dressy slacks. But they are even worse than that. A male Jehovah's Witness, for example, can't wear a beard. Well, if they decide to grow a beard, there won't be this fellowship for that. But they will lose any type of privilege if they have any. And I'm going to give you a true story here that was told to me by the sister who used to study the Bible with me. Because this happened to a Bethelite that she knew. And I didn't know it at the time, but my guess is now that the guy was waking up. This brother, this Bethelite, was waking up. And he understood, because he was waking up, that the Bible did not tell him, therefore God, Jehovah, did not tell him that he couldn't wear a beard if he wanted to. So he decided to grow a beard. And sure enough, when the governing body was aware of this, well, they gave him a few days to a week, something like that. They gave him a little bit of time to shave his beard. And guess what? He decided that he was not going to shave his beard. Well, guess what? He was thrown out of Bethel. So if you don't believe, if you are one of Jehovah's Witnesses and still don't believe that you can't wear a beard as a Jehovah's Witness, you can't wear a beard, because if you do and you have any type of privilege, you are going to lose those privileges. But there is even worse than that. If you do decide as a man to wear a beard, not only you are going to be judged by all the witnesses around you as being rebellious, but not rebellious against an organization. You are going to be judged as being rebellious against God, against Jehovah. And that's how you know that you are in a cult. Because not only you are going to do something that the Bible does not even prevent you to do. Actually, I won't go into that, but it's kind of the opposite. So the Bible doesn't say anything about not wearing a beard, but yet you are going to be judged as rebellious against God Himself. And that's what indoctrination is. Remember, I told you at the beginning, the more indoctrinated you are, the bigger the lies you are going to swallow. Well, that's one of them. You are doing something that has nothing against the Bible, against the God of the Bible, okay? Whether it's Jehovah or Jesus, whatever, the God of the Bible. It has nothing to do with the God of the Bible. Yet you are called a rebellious, and you are judged rebellious against God. And that's why cults are dangerous. And if you don't believe that the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses is not only a cult, but a dangerous cult, it is. And here is an example, a very, very specific and very hot example here of how dangerous this cult is. District Overseer Bart Thompson held up a society publication that had a green cover. He then said to the Assembly of Elders, "If the society told me that this book is black instead of green, I would say, I could have sworn that it was green. But if the society says it's black, then it's black." When you read a statement like this, told by one of Jehovah's Witnesses, you have to be scared. You have to be scared of what indoctrination can do. And that is why I'm saying that the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses is one of the dangerous cults. I don't even know if there are any cults that are not dangerous, but I know that the cult of Jehovah's Witnesses is a dangerous one. Because what this person is saying here, it's that if the organization says anything against common sense, this person is going to go with that organization. And that's scary. Because you know what an organization can do when they get someone's brain, someone's mind to that level? Well, they can turn them into monsters if they have to. So that's why, if you get to this point, if this guy was not like, he has so many layers of indoctrination that it's scary. But if he even realized how many layers of indoctrination he has, he would be scared of himself. Because he's lost. He's telling us here with a small paragraph. He's telling us that he's lost completely total sense. And he's completely worshiping, not God. He's not even worshiping Jehovah here. He's worshiping his organization. And that's another way to see, to understand that you are in a cult. If you say such thing, you are in a cult. Trust me. Another thing that the narcissist husband likes to do with his wife is control what she's thinking. Because once you control what someone is thinking, you control everything about the person. Does the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses likes to control what you think? More than anything. And if you think anything different than the doctrines of the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses, you better not say. I can tell you for a fact. I still remember the day when we studied the Watchtower about this ridiculous blood fraction. And I think that day I lost my whole trust. Not that I was awake yet, but I did lose my whole trust in that organization that day. Because to me, I was okay if God said no blood. But I wasn't okay with God saying no blood, but a little bit, just a little bit of blood, it's okay. No, that never made sense to me. And I just knew it was BS. I just knew it. But did I say it? No, because I think that by now, or by then, I knew that thinking such a thing, thinking that the organization behind this craziness was not right, I knew that if I was going to say it, I would be in trouble. So I just kept it to myself. And that's how far you can go with your own thinking in this religion. If you are smart enough, if you are not fully indoctrinated, there are going to be some times that you are going to be still the master of your own mind. And you are bound to think, wow, the Watchtower is going crazy here. But you can't voice it. You can't voice it. Because if you do, you'll be in trouble and you can definitely be disfellowshipped for that. So if you want to stay in the organization for any reason, maybe because your whole family is in there, whatever, you better shut up. Because the day you open your mouth, you are going to be again considered not a rebellious against an organization or against a governing body. You are going to be considered rebellious against Jehovah himself. So that's how you know again that you are in a cult. You can't think for yourself, and even if what you're thinking makes total sense and what they're doing makes no sense at all, you still can't voice your own thinking. You must, if you are a Jehovah's Witness and wants to stay in good standing, you must think in the mold of your organization. And again, that's how you know that you are in a cult. Another thing that the narcissist husband will do is try to control even how his wife feels. For example, she may tell him that what he does makes her feel a certain way. Well, he's going to convince her, no, you're not feeling this way. You're just thinking this way, but you're wrong. You're not feeling this way because that's not what I intended. Therefore, if it's not what I intended, you're not feeling the way you think you are feeling. Does the Watchtower, does the religion, the leaders of the religion of Jehovah's Witnesses try to control even your feelings? Yes, they do. And I'm going to give you 2 examples for that. Let's say you are a parent and you have 1 or 2 children. And one of them is disfellowshipped or maybe even decides to leave this organization. What are you supposed to do? You're supposed to end the relationship with your own child. It does not matter how it makes you feel. It does not matter how it makes you feel to cut all relationship with your child and keep it to a very strict minimum. How does this make you feel? Does not matter at all for the leadership of Jehovah's Witnesses. All that matters is that you're pleasing your God, Jehovah. So that's how they make you feel the way they want you to feel. Because of the indoctrination that's behind it all, they are trying to make you believe that feeling a rejection for your own flesh and blood, for your own child, especially as a mother. I'm not saying that fathers don't like their children, but as a mother, there is nothing on the planet that you are going to love more than your own child. And that's probably true as well for a father. But it's definitely true for a mother. So that natural feeling, they make you forget about it. Forget about your natural feeling of loving your child more than anything and even more than God if necessary. No. You're supposed to love God more than your children. And that is, my dear friends, whether you believe in God or not, completely unnatural. I don't care if you are a believer or not. It is not natural to love God more than your own child. It's not natural because it's not natural. I don't know how to explain that to you. It's just not. But that's what a cult will do. They will convince you to switch your feelings into believing that it's okay to love a God that you've never seen, never heard, never nothing. You don't know that God. I don't care how much you think you're close to Him. You don't know that God. But you're supposed to love Him more than your own flesh and blood, more than your child. And that's how the religion is controlling your feelings. But I have another example as well. The other example is, again, you are a parent and you have a couple of children, and one of them needs a basic blood transfusion. And this poor kid is not even a Jehovah's Witness. He's not baptized. He just happened to be born from Jehovah's Witnesses' parents. And he's sick and he needs a blood transfusion. And you're supposed to forget about your feelings, like you would give your life for your child if you had to. Forget about that. You need to let him die. because he needs a blood transfusion and the organization said no blood transfusion. So forget about your feelings. Forget about your feelings for your own child. You must master the courage to let your child die just because he needs a simple blood transfusion. Again, if you refuse to obey your organization, it's not the organization that you are disobeying. It's God. It's God Himself. And again, that's how you know that you are in a cult. You know, it's funny how Jehovah's Witnesses love to use that scripture that talks about natural affection, always saying that the world has lost all natural affection. When I do not know personally, I do not know any other group of people with less natural affection than Jehovah's Witnesses. Yes, I know people more dangerous and more violent than Jehovah's Witnesses, but I know nobody that has less natural affection than them, in the sense that while they're not the most violent, evil people on the planet, they are the ones that turn their back on their own flesh and blood. And that, I don't know it personally anyway, about any other group of people. And that's how you know that you are in a cult. Because, by the way, the two things that I mentioned, the shunning and the blood transfusion, it is not disobeying God, because it is not even against that Bible. It's just against the doctrines of your organization. And again, that's how you know that you are in a cult. So as you've seen, the narcissist husband likes to control what his wife thinks, what she does, and even how she feels. Exactly like your organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. They like to control everything that you do. They like to control what you think. And they even like to control how you feel, even when it goes against your natural affection for your own family members and your own children. And when you come to observe this, when you become aware of such thing, it's usually because you are waking up. Unfortunately, indoctrination is that poison. Indoctrination is a poison of the mind, just like a physical poison will damage some of your body organs, for example. Indoctrination is a real poison to the mind, because it clouds the mind and we lose total common sense. As I showed you earlier, this statement from a Jehovah's Witness, this poor person had lost all common sense because of his mind being so clouded by indoctrination. And only when you start seeing what I'm talking about, it means that you start to wake up, at least. But as long as you're not seeing it, it's that your mind is still so clouded by indoctrination. Just like a poison, it's poisoning your mind to the point that you are losing common sense. So I hope, if you are a Jehovah's Witness or in any other cult, I hope that the fact that you are watching this video may be the beginning of your awakening, and I really hope that you do. I also hope that this video helped you no matter what. And if you liked it, like it, share it, subscribe if you have not subscribed yet, and I'll see you on my next video. Bye bye now.